name is Trey Schwerdtfeger. I'm from Montrose High School, and I spent my summer at the Mystic Seaport Museum in Mystic, Connecticut. When I first applied for this internship, I wanted to go to Piasecki Aircraft Corporation, and that's kind of what we had our hopes and dreams set on, and it did not turn out. So when they told me about this program, I kind of took the opportunity and ran with it. It was a lot of fun. I didn't expect to be doing it, but I really enjoyed my time there. All right, seven out of 7 days a week, I biked down the Mystic Hill where I lived, into Mystic Village, across the drawbridge, and over to the Mystic Seaport where I worked. Right here is kind of the edge of the Mystic Seaport. Here's the drawbridge. My face is really close to the screen. And here at the Mystic Seaport, I studied naval engineering, which is a form of engineering that has to do with the design, the build, and the operation of naval crafts. So while I was here, I volunteered a lot. I volunteered 80 hours, 80 plus hours of time at the Mystic Seaport. And I spent most of my time helping out here at the Discovery Barn, where we taught kids basic physics and whatnot of how sailing worked and how ships and stuff like that were built here at the Mystic Seaport. I also spent time over here at the boathouse, where I met a lot of cool friends, as well as learned how to sail over 7 types of vessels proficiently, which I did end up sailing a couple of customers, which was really fun. So we rented out sailboats and whatnot, and then and if people didn't know how to, we taught them how to row. We didn't teach them how to sail because that was too much of a liability. So the main project I was here on that they took me up on was called the LA Dunton. It's this fishing schooner that needed to be restored really badly. There's this form in boats, in old wooden boats. It's called hogging, and it's where the two fronts of the ships. The two fronts of the ships. The front of the ship and the back of the ship tend to sag down, and it's really not good. So right now, the LA Dunton is not seaworthy. They sat me down in this little office right here, and I read every book ever written on the LA Dunton, as well as every photo ever taken of the LA Dunton, and compiled all the information that I possibly could, learned everything that I could about the LA Dunton, and then they sent me out to it, where I finally got to meet the Photogrammetry team. And this Photogrammetry team, we went through. I didn't get to really touch any of the equipment that they got to use, but this was the actual LA Dunton. It was closed off for tours for a while, but I got to go on it. And we went underneath. There's a ton of room underneath of it, which we were taking pictures, and we put them in this CAD program, and we compiled them all together because the people who were going to come restore the LA Dunton needed images to see what was wrong with it and what was right with it, because they needed to see like all the way down to like the finest cracks. Otherwise, they couldn't restore it. And why it wasn't being restored at the moment is because they were working on a ship that was actually not allowed to be photographed, the Mayflower II, which is really, really big, and it was in this massive dome. So that actually got launched September, right after I left, unfortunately. Also, while I was here, I participated in the exhibits department. I met my coworker Paul, and what we did here is there was this new exhibit that had just got put up, which was streamlined, and it's about how boats move through water a lot faster if they're streamlined. And that had just been put up, so what we were doing is we were already working on the next exhibit, which I learned is a process that has to start immediately. They were already working on this exhibit after this one. So right here, we were making a cloud of pocket watches, which took a lot of time to figure out how we were going to have all these pocket watches from the museum put up all together just like this, where you can look at it from one side, it looks like a sphere, and you walk around to the other side, and it's just rows of pocket watches, which was really cool. And we were part of the exhibits department, and the museum storage department wasn't really happy with us because we used over 300 pocket watches in this. And if any of the strings touched, it was going to be taken down immediately. So that was a very tedious process, but ended up being really fun because we learned a lot. The second exhibit that I built was a dock. It was a display dock. And what we did here is we had to lay it all out, and once we figured out all the designs and stuff like that, all the measurements that we had to do with it, we put it in the CAD program, saw how it was gonna lay out in the actual exhibit itself, and once we had finished that, we laid it out, we started building it. Once we got all the planks down, he actually gave me these chains that they use to actually, I just went around banging the dock and making it look old, so that was a lot of fun. These were pictures that I just recently got because the exhibit was put up 2 days after I left, and I didn't get to help. I didn't get to help with that, with the opening of it, which was really sad. So one of my pals went in and took pictures for me. This was the display dock that they put everything on, and that was our cloud of pocket watches over there. And it actually turned out really cool because they put a mirror underneath of it, and it was just a really beautiful, beautiful project that we had. My living space. On top of the hill, my beautiful meal right here. I was made fun of because I didn't know how to tie rope when I first got there, which was a very big part of their culture. So I learned how to tie rope a lot. So if you ever need a knot tied, you can come to me and I can tie one for you, any kind you want. So other than tying rope, I got to meet friends. My buddy here, he took me around and pretty much showed me everything that had to do with Mystic, which, I mean, it was a really small place, but I got to go to Rhode Island too. So we went to beaches, and he's actually going to be coming out to visit me, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And he took me on top here. As you can see, Connecticut is made out of trees, a lot of trees. So that was a lot of fun. As I told you, I got to sail boats. He actually taught me how to sail boats really well. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. My advice to future interns. Go for what you want. Like, don't stop. What I was supposed to be working on fully was the LA Dunton project, but I found myself with a lot of free time. So instead of sitting at home after the first couple of days, I went out and kind of asked Eliza, what can I do? Where can I go? So she put me in the exhibits department, and I actually got to help build those cool things, which are going to be there for a while now. And that was a lot of fun. So don't sit around. Don't watch Netflix the entire time. It's not worth it. Go out there while you're there. Use the experience. It's going to be a lot of fun. And always ask questions. Always better yourself. Thank you.